Hey guys, Broke to Ball in here. Today, I want to take you on a journey that started with a simple, almost unbelievable idea. Imagine this. What if you could make $2 every 30 seconds, just by working online? It sounds wild, right? But that's exactly the concept I stumbled upon recently, and it immediately grabbed my attention. I was just casually browsing the internet, looking for new ways to boost my income, when I came across this claim. $2 every 30 seconds. I mean, if you do the math, that's $4 a minute, and if you could keep that up for an hour, you'd be looking at $240. That's more than some people make in an entire day, all in just 60 minutes. The numbers were just too tempting to ignore. I found myself reaching for my calculator, double-checking the math, and thinking, is this even possible? The idea of making that much money, that quickly, was almost hypnotic. I couldn't help but wonder if there was a catch, or if this was just another internet myth. Honestly, the math was just too alluring. Could I actually pull this off? I had to try. I started digging deeper, reading every article and watching every video I could find about these so-called quick cash methods. Some people swore by them, while others said it was all hype. But for me, the curiosity was just too strong to ignore. For someone who's always looking for new income streams, this was like a siren song. I've tried everything from flipping items on eBay to investing in real estate, but the idea of making money this fast was something I'd never seen before. It felt like the ultimate challenge, and I couldn't resist the urge to see if it was real. I'm all about that hustle, and this felt like the ultimate test. I knew it would take dedication, focus, and maybe a little bit of luck. But that's what makes it exciting, right? The thrill of the unknown, the possibility that you might just crack the code and find a new way to earn. Plus, the idea of generating cash that quickly, even for a short burst, was crazy exciting. I started imagining all the possibilities. What if this actually worked? What if I could show you step by step how to do it too? The potential was just too good to pass up. Of course, I knew it wouldn't be easy. Making money online takes work. There's no magic button. There are always challenges, setbacks, and moments where you wonder if it's even worth it. But that's part of the journey. Every failure is a lesson, and every small win is a step closer to the goal. So, with all that in mind, I decided to go all in. I set up my workspace, cleared my schedule, and got ready to put this $2 dream to the test. The challenge was on, and I couldn't wait to see what would happen next. Before we dive in, big disclaimer. This is my personal experience. What worked for me might not work for you. Starting any business is risky, and there's no guarantee of success. This isn't financial advice, just me sharing my journey. Take it as inspiration, learn from my mistakes, but always do your own research. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into the nitty-gritty. First things first, I needed a game plan. Making $2 every 30 seconds meant finding something quick, something with fast turnaround. No time for long, drawn-out projects. I brainstormed everything: freelancing, online surveys, selling stuff, even those get-paid-to websites. The internet is a vast ocean of opportunity, but I needed to find the pearls, not the plastic bottles. Hours were spent researching, comparing, and weeding out the scams. It was exhausting but crucial. When I first started looking for ways to make money online, freelancing seemed like the most promising route. The idea of working from anywhere, setting my own hours, and picking projects that actually interested me was pretty appealing. I imagined myself sipping coffee at my kitchen table, cranking out articles or catchy taglines, and watching the payments roll in. It felt like the ultimate dream for anyone who wanted a bit of freedom and flexibility in their work life. Since I'm decent at writing, I decided to hit up some of the most popular freelancing platforms out there, Upwork and Fiverr. I set up my profiles, polished my portfolio, and started offering short writing gigs. I figured there had to be someone out there who needed a quick blog post, a product description, or maybe even a clever social media caption. The possibilities seemed endless, and I was excited to see what kind of work would come my way. Most of the gigs I applied for were things like writing product descriptions for online stores, coming up with engaging captions for Instagram posts, or even drafting short emails for small businesses. It was a mix of creative and straightforward tasks, and I thought my skills would be a perfect fit. I spent hours crafting proposals, trying to stand out from the crowd, and hoping that someone would give me a shot. But let me tell you, the competition was absolutely fierce. Every job I looked at had dozens, sometimes even hundreds of applicants. It felt like I was shouting into a void, hoping my voice would somehow rise above the noise. There were so many talented people out there, all vying for the same gigs, and many of them had years of experience or glowing reviews that made them tough to beat. It was honestly a little overwhelming to see just how many people were hustling for the same opportunities. I realized pretty quickly that landing a job wasn't just about having the right skills. It was about timing, persistence, and sometimes just plain luck. I kept applying, tweaking my proposals and hoping for the best, but it was clear that breaking in wouldn't be easy. Eventually, I did manage to land a few small jobs here and there. The pay wasn't great, definitely not the kind of money that would let me quit my day job or brag about earning $2 every 30 seconds. But it was something, and it gave me a little boost of confidence to keep going. Still, I knew I needed to explore other options if I wanted to make any real progress. That's when I decided to try my hand at microtasks on platforms like Amazon Mechanical Turk. I'd heard stories about people making a bit of extra cash by completing quick, simple tasks online, so I figured it was worth a shot. Signing up was easy, and soon I was scrolling through a long list of tiny jobs that anyone could do. These microtasks were things like entering data into spreadsheets, tagging images, or transcribing short audio clips. Each task only took a few minutes, but the pay was just a few cents per job. It was repetitive, sometimes even a little boring, but I kept telling myself that every little bit added up. I'd spend hours clicking away, hoping that the pennies would eventually turn into dollars. Honestly, it was mind-numbing work, and the earnings were barely enough to buy a cup of coffee. But at the end of the day, every penny counts, right? I kept grinding, learning as I went, and hoping that the next opportunity would be the one that finally made all the effort worthwhile. If you want to check out the platforms I used or get started on your own journey, make sure to click the link in the description below. Then there's the world of content creation. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. These platforms are like digital playgrounds, each promising a shot at viral fame, and if you're lucky, a taste of fortune. The idea of making a living by sharing your thoughts, your creativity, or even just your daily life with the world is honestly pretty tempting. It's hard not to get drawn in by the stories of overnight sensations. People who went from total obscurity to internet stardom, seemingly with just a single video. The allure is real, and it's everywhere. In the headlines, in the trending tabs, in the endless scroll of content that fills our feeds. I mean, who wouldn't want to wake up to thousands of new followers, or see their notifications blow up with likes and comments? The potential is intoxicating. But what you don't see in those viral moments is the grind behind the scenes. The hours spent brainstorming, filming, editing, and uploading, all for the hope that maybe, just maybe, this next post will be the one that takes off. I already had a YouTube channel, so I doubled down on my posting schedule, determined to give it a real shot. I started planning out my weeks around filming and editing, researching what was trending, and trying to figure out what my audience actually wanted to see. It felt like a full-time job, except there was no guarantee of a paycheck at the end of the month. I found myself constantly jotting down ideas, sometimes in the middle of the night, hoping to stumble on that one concept that would grab attention. I experimented with different formats, from vlogs to tutorials to reaction videos, just trying to pump out content that might stand out in the sea of uploads. But, you know, the algorithm gods are fickle though. One day your video might get picked up and shown to thousands of people. The next, it's like you're shouting into the void. There's no real rhyme or reason, and it can be incredibly frustrating to watch your hard work go unnoticed. Some videos flopped harder than a pancake, barely scraping together a handful of views despite hours of effort. It's a weird mix of disappointment and confusion. What did I do wrong? Was it the thumbnail? The title? The timing? Or was it just bad luck? But then, every so often, a video would catch a little wave. Maybe it was a trending topic, or maybe the algorithm just decided to be kind that day. Suddenly, the views would start climbing and I'd get a rush of excitement. It wasn't viral, but it was enough to keep me motivated, to make me believe that maybe I was onto something. Still, even with a few thousand views here and there, the ad revenue was nowhere near my $2 every 30 seconds goal. In reality, it was more like a few cents an hour, barely enough to buy a cup of coffee, let alone pay the bills. The dream of making easy money online started to feel a lot more distant. And oh, don't even get me started on TikTok. That platform is a whole different beast. The pace is faster, the trends change by the hour, and the competition is fierce. It's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle, except the bottle keeps moving. I spent hours learning dances, memorizing trending sounds, and trying to be funny or relatable in 15 seconds or less. I'd film take after take, trying to get the timing just right, hoping that this would be the video that finally took off. But more often than not, all that effort would add up to a few measly likes and maybe a comment or two from friends. It's humbling, honestly. You start to realize just how hard it is to break through, no matter how much time you put in. So respect to the TikTok stars out there. It's honestly harder than it looks. Behind every viral video is a mountain of failed attempts, late nights, and self-doubt. The grind is real, and it's not for the faint of heart. Not every idea was a winner. I tried those online survey sites, but they were a soul-sucking black hole of time for minimal reward. I even dabbled in affiliate marketing, promoting products on my social media, but that takes time to build an audience and see results. The point is, I explored every avenue, no matter how crazy it seemed. Some were dead ends, others had potential, but needed more time to grow. So, the million-dollar question, or well, the $2 question, did I actually make $2 every 30 seconds online? The short answer is no, not even close. In total, I probably made a couple $100 over a week of intense hustling. Not bad, but definitely not life-changing. The time commitment was insane though. I was glued to my laptop, constantly researching, applying, and creating. What did I learn? Firstly, making money online is possible, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes hard work, dedication, and a lot of trial and error. More importantly, I learned that the real value wasn't just the money, it was the experience, the knowledge I gained, and the skills I developed. I learned how to market myself, how to create engaging content, and how to navigate the ever-changing landscape of the internet. These are skills that will serve me well in any business venture, online or offline. And that, my friends, is priceless. A resounding maybe. Would I put myself through this challenge again? Honestly, I'm not sure. The time commitment was intense and the financial reward wasn't exactly life-changing. But then again, I learned so much, and the thrill of the hustle was kind of addictive. Maybe with a more focused approach targeting specific skills and platforms, I could actually crack the code. So yeah, maybe. Never say never.